Ladies and gentlemen, there is a global shortage of fertilizer. And fertilizer is a huge part of farming. Even if you're growing a garden, it's a huge part of your garden. So, if there's less fertilizer to go around, then the only thing farmers will be able to do at this point is reduce their crop size based on the amount of fertilizer they have. So you really can't go all big and wide on the crop and you don't have enough fertilizer. So unfortunately, if they reduce the size of their crop, that means less food is being produced, and therefore that's another part of your food shortage right there. So, the world food supply is at risk due to a global fertilization shortage. Mm-mm-mm. Plus, they said there's a high demand of manure, and there's not enough manure to go around. Okay, so this story may seem to only affect farmers, but you will feel the effects of it. There is a global shortage of fertilizer that will drive up food prices and lower crop sizes. Yeah, exactly. That is really a huge part of farming is being able to fertilize your crops. This won't resolve quickly or easily. Prices for ingredients that go up for synthetic fertilizers have, in some cases, tripled since the start of the pandemic. Several compounding problems contributed to the shortage, including the Russian invasion of Ukraine, supply chain issues caused by storms, and high natural gas prices. Look at the price trend for for the fertilizer. Yeah, so everything, they're going to use every reason to jack up the price. So trust me, if the fertilizer is high for the farmers, it's going to be high for the consumers that use fertilizer, especially if you purchase it online or at one of your local stores or nurseries. That's going to be higher too. So, for the first time ever, farmers the world over, all at the same time, are testing the limits of how little chemical fertilization they can apply without devastating their yields come harvest time. Early predictions are bleak. In 2021, Russia was the world's top exporter of nitrogen fertilizers and the second largest supplier of both potassic and phosphorus fertilizer. So this is according to UN Food and Agriculture Organization. So one of the farmers were saying, my biggest concern is that we end up with a very severe shortage of food in certain areas of the world. Yeah, well, that's inevitable if you don't have enough fertilizer. There is also a growing concern less fertilizer use will result in lower quality crops. Just ask your farmers, especially ones that got thousands of acres. They're not going to be able to grow on those acres unless they have fertilizer. So a lot of these crops are going to be cut. Don't be surprised if you hear about a farmer that may have 1,000 acres and he may only be using 600 of the 1,000 because he just don't have enough fertilizer to do a 1,000 square foot crop. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. So there is a growing concern that it will be lower quality crops that will come out. So you got farmers in America that produce wheat and corn, and that wheat and corn is distributed all over the earth. And so, of course, if they can't grow due to a lack of fertilizer, then they lose all that business. all of it. So they're saying that they apply nitrogen fertilizer to wheat crops. And that means if they don't have enough fertilizer, it means it's a lower class of wheat. With nearly half of the US wheat export to other countries, there's a problem that will impact consumers the world over. The harvest of hard red winter wheat and most widely grown class in the US, and the grain that is used to make all purpose flour will begin in June. Some farmers will use a slow release fertilizer this year to try to use less than they usually would. Others are changing to crop that needs a different level of nitrogen and less fertilizer. Manure is in high demand. Reuters said some farmers are turning to more natural fertilizers, including manure, but the only problem is it's not enough of that. Some livestock and dairy farmers, including those who previously paid to have their animals' waste removed, have found a fertilizer side business in selling it to grain growers, equipment firms that make manure, spreading equipment, as honey wagons are also benefiting. Not only are more U.S. farmers hunting manure supplies for the spring planting season, some cattle feeders that sell waste are sold out throughout the end of the year, according to the industry consultant. All right, manure is absolutely a hot commodity. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is. So they said there is a waiting list for manure. It's virtually sold out all over America. Manure is problematic, however, because of runoff. It can pollute air, waterways, but demand for honey wagons is so great that the farm equipment manufacturers say they are producing them as fast as they can. To give you an idea of how big the demand is for manure fertilizer today, Iowa usually uses 14 billion gallons of manure a year. This year, they may be using 15 gallons, and they said spraying it on the fields. That would be enough to cover 108,000 golf courses or to fill 280 million bathtubs. It's a lot of manure. So, what is Biden going to do about this? What is he doing? Because there's a lot of things that this man, he is just not doing well with at all. President Joe Biden's latest plan to help Ukraine has implications for American farmers to the tune of $500 million in increased farm subsidies. The president's goal is to encourage U.S. farmers to increase wheat, corn, and soybean production to make up for what Ukraine used to export. Prior to Russia's invasion, Ukraine produced 10% of the world's wheat. But do farmers need that kind of encouragement when commodity prices are already at sky high levels? Under the Biden administration, the proposal is $100 million will go towards providing a $10 per acre payment to farmers who plant soybean crops after a winter wheat crop in 2023. Another 400 million would fund a 2-year increase in loan rates for U.S. farmers and producers to encourage them to grow more select food commodities, including wheat, rice, and oil seeds like soybeans, sunflowers, and canola. The Agriculture Department claims a proposal would help stabilize rising food prices and provide food for foreign countries in need by helping American farmers to grow 50% of the wheat normally exported by Ukraine, among other things. That plan, however, would probably also require the U.S. to step up farming for to get federal aid programs that buy and ship U.S. commodities abroad. Otherwise, wealthier countries like China would likely buy up the extra supply on the open market. So, y'all, look like America is in trouble. They are in trouble. So, they need fertilizer and manure, and both are in short supply. So, y'all, all I can say is get used to those empty looking shelves that you're seeing at your supermarket because that's going to persist all the way into next year. It really is. And it's going to have a domino effect. Even all of these immigrants that are out there doing the work, it's going to be less work for them to do. And you can best believe if it's less work, it's going to be less pay for them. And they already get paid peanuts as it is. But y'all, this just go to show you that anything can shift at a drop of a hat. And meantime, you got Joe Biden giving all of the money and supplies away to Ukraine. And this is all the more reason why the money should stay here, to help deal with this situation where you got less fertilizer, instead of worrying about a war, you need to worry about what's going on in your backyard, Joe Biden. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.